Imagine you invent a life-saving medicine and receive a 20 years patent for it, and, as the patent is about to expire, instead of discovering a completely new drug, you simply change its crystal form, rename it, and ask for another 20 years of monopoly. Should that be allowed? India answered that question with one powerful legal provision, Section 3D of the Indian Patentsact. Some people call it India's greatest protection against evergreening. And in 2013, it became globally famous after one landmark Supreme Court judgment involving Novartis and its cancer drug, Glyvke. Today, we'll understand what Section 3D actually says, why it exists, how the Supreme Court interpreted it. Let's start with the text itself. Section 3D says, "You cannot patent the mere discovery of a new form of a known substance unless that new form results in enhanced efficacy compared to the original." It also blocks patents on a new property or new use of a known substance, and on the mere use of a known process, unless that process leads to a new product or uses at least one new reactant. Then comes the explanation, which closes a lot of loopholes. It says, salts, esters, ethers, polymorphs, metabolites, pure forms, particle sizes, isomers, mixtures of isomers, complexes, combinations, and other derivatives of a known substance are all treated as the same substance unless they show a significant difference in properties related to efficacy. So why did Indian lawmakers write such a strict provision? The answer is a practice called evergreening. Here's how it typically works. A pharmaceutical company patents a drug. As that patent is about to expire, that would normally open the door for generic versions of the drug. So, the company makes a small modification, maybe a new salt form, a new crystal structure. Then they file a fresh patent on that tweak, extending their market exclusivity for years, sometimes decades, without offering any real improvement in how well the drug actually treats patients. This strategy is called patent evergreening. Section 3D was designed specifically to block this strategy, to make sure that only genuine therapeutic improvements deserve a patent. The clause's real test came with a drug called Glyvke, used to treat chronic myeloid leukemia, a form of blood cancer. The compound behind it, imatinib, was already known. Novartis developed a new form of it, the beta-crystalline form of imatinib mesylate, and claimed it had better bioavailability and stability than the earlier form. They sought a patent in India. The Indian Patent Office rejected it, citing Section 3D. Novartis appealed to the Intellectual Property Appellate Board, which also rejected the claim, while still acknowledging the invention was technically novel and non-obvious. The case eventually reached the Supreme Court of India in 2013. The central legal question was this: what does efficacy actually mean under Section 3D? Novartis argued that improved bioavailability, meaning the drug being absorbed more efficiently into the body, should count as enhanced efficacy. The Supreme Court disagreed. It ruled that in the context of medicine, efficacy means therapeutic efficacy, real, measurable improvement in how well the drug treats the disease. Better solubility or better storage stability, on their own, don't meet that bar. Novartis hadn't provided evidence that the new crystalline form actually helped patients more than the original. As a result, the patent was denied, and the ruling was unanimous.
This ruling had consequences far beyond one drug. At the time, generic imatinib in India cost a fraction of what Novartis charged for the patented version, making the difference between patients affording treatment or not. Health advocates saw the judgment as protecting access to affordable, life-saving medicine, not just in India but for countries around the world that rely on Indian generics. The decision also reaffirmed India's position under the Doha Declaration on the TRIPS Agreement, which allows countries to prioritize public health when shaping their patent laws. Novartis, on the other hand, argued the ruling could discourage investment in pharmaceutical innovation. That tension between rewarding innovation and ensuring access to medicine is still at the heart of the debate today.
Fast forward to 2023, the Madras High Court revisited this clause in a case involving Bristol Myers Squibb. This time, the court clarified something important, that Section 3D isn't meant to block all incremental improvements, only to stop evergreening. The court agreed that enhanced bioavailability alone still isn't the same as higher therapeutic efficacy. But it also said that if a company genuinely claims improved therapeutic efficacy, they simply need to support it with real research and clinical data. In other words, the door isn't closed on innovation, it's just no longer open to shortcuts. So here's the big takeaway. The Novartis case set that bar high, and the Bristol Myers Squibb case showed it's not impossible to clear. This clause remains one of the most important tools balancing pharmaceutical innovation with access to affordable medicine in India and globally. If you found this breakdown useful, like and subscribe to my channel. We're covering the rest of Section 3 in next video.